Hello, this is Grant Gisondo, the Family Man. I'm the owner of the law offices of Grant Gisondo, PA, a full-service family law firm located in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Call us today for a free in-person consultation regarding any family law case. 561-530-4568 or online at sunshinedivorce.com. We will fight for you each step of the way. Again, that's 561-530-4568. Last week, if you tuned in to hear us, we were telling you about frequently asked questions in a family law or a divorce case. This week, I got something different for you. As promised, we are talking all about alimony. Today with me in the studio is one of our legal assistants, Nilda. Say hello, Nilda.
Hello.
How are you today?
Good.
Are you excited to talk about alimony?
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited to talk about alimony. I love alimony, everyone. It is my favorite topic to talk about. We got a lot of information coming at you today, so we're going to try to move quickly. Of course, if you have questions, shoot me an email, grant@gisondolaw.com or grant@sunshinedivorce.com. Alimony. What can we tell you about alimony today? Okay, first, alimony is available in every single type of family law case. There are 4 types of alimony: bridge the gap, rehabilitative, durational, and permanent alimony. Basically, the court can consider a whole list of factors in this type of analysis. We're going to go over a little bit later today, but for now, let's talk about the different types of alimony. Let's get into it. The common misconception in Florida is that everybody thinks that adultery, infidelity, and all those things don't matter, when in fact, when we're talking about alimony, they do matter. Nilda, did you know that?
Yes, I did.
You did know that. How did you know that?
Because I'm a paralegal and I know these things.
You know these things. See, I love it. She's learning, we're both learning. I love it. Okay, so the court, when discussing alimony, can talk about the adultery of either spouse and the circumstances related to the adultery when considering alimony. So the first inquiry that the court needs to make, and I'm going to try not to keep this too dry for you guys, the first inquiry the court needs to make is whether or not there is an actual need for alimony. What is an actual need? An actual need is that when you're looking at a party's finances, do you actually need the alimony to survive? For example, if we do your entire financial affidavit and we look at all your finances at the end of the month, if you are negative $500 or $600 short on paying your rent, that is an actual need. If you're $1,000 negative every month, that is an actual need. So that's inquiry number 1. Is there a need? The second inquiry after we get through the need is, does the paying spouse have the ability to pay that alimony? What that actually means is that if you are $500 a month negative and you are requesting $500 a month in alimony, the spouse that you want to pay the alimony must have an additional $500 a month in order to meet your needs. That way you're both equal at the end of the month. Okay, so after we talk about the need and ability, we're going to get right into the factors that the court are going to consider regarding alimony. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about alimony today. I am Grant Gisondo, the Family Man. So here we go, talking about the factors that the court is going to consider when deciding whether or not to award a party to a family law case alimony, and this would be only for a dissolution of marriage. The first factor, the standard of living established during the marriage. What exactly does this mean? This means, how many vacations did you take? Do you own your home? How much is your home worth? How beautiful is your home decorated? Do you have investments? The value of those investments? Do you have frequent dinners out? Are you living a life of luxury? That's what we're talking about, the standard of living established during the marriage. If you had a marriage where you went on vacation every single month and you spent 6 months in Europe, that is a very high standard of living as far as these factors are considered. Factor number 2, the duration of the marriage. Now, the duration of the marriage is kind of important, and we are going to come back to this a little bit towards the end of the show, where we're actually going to talk about specific durational time frames that the court has specified for us in talking about factor number 2. So we're going to come right back to that. The third factor, the age and physical and emotional condition of each party. For example, if you are 24 years old and your husband is 65 years old and he's getting near retirement, chances are you're going to make a tough claim for alimony. Now remember, guys, this is not guaranteed. Nothing I'm telling you today is an absolute must. These are simply factors. These are considerations that the court is considering. Every single case is going to be different. Every single case is going to have an additional analysis. You do not need to meet or establish every single one of these factors to get an award of alimony. So let's just keep in mind that these are just guidelines. That's really what they are. So back to the age, physical, and emotional condition of each party. If, let's say, your spouse makes $400,000 a year and you make $30,000 a year. Do you have a claim for alimony? Most likely for this factor. But we have to look at the physical and emotional condition of each party. So, for example, if your extremely wealthy spouse that's making a ton of income every single month has a physical ailment or an emotional ailment, or they have a heart condition, or they just had a heart attack and they no longer can work, that is going to affect your alimony claim. So we want people to be healthy. Yeah. We want people to be happy. We want people to be healthy. And we want them to be young. And I'm sure you want to be young as well. The next factor that the court's going to consider is the financial resources available to each party, including non-marital assets. Now, let me take you on a little sidebar here, guys. When we're talking about non-marital assets, the most classic non-marital asset is inheritance. Let's say that your mom or your dad passes away and they leave you $1 million in non-marital assets. Now, does your wife have a claim for those monies? No, she does not, because inheritance is non-marital. Now, when considering alimony or when doing an analysis for alimony, we're actually going to look at those non-marital assets. So, for example, if you're walking away from a marriage with $100,000 of assets, but your spouse has $1 million of assets, some of which are non-marital, then you can actually use those assets as a factor in the amount of alimony that's going to be paid every month. Now, that is one of the true, very rare instances where the court wants to consider the non-marital assets of the parties in making a determination for a dissolution of marriage. Nilda, did you know that?
No, I did not. That's very interesting.
Isn't that fun?
Yes.
I love that fact. That's a great little fact right there.
Alimony is always fun, isn't it?
I love alimony. You know what, everybody? We love alimony here. We are the Alimony Law Firm. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is Grant Gisondo, the Family Man. I'm the owner of the law offices of Grant Gisondo, PA, a full-service family law firm located in Palm Beach Gardens. Give us a call today for a free, absolutely 100% free in-person consultation with me regarding any family law case. 561-530-4568 or online at sunshinedivorce.com, because nobody can spell GisondoLaw.com. We'll fight for you every single step of the way, so give us a call, 530-4568. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about alimony specifically right now. We're talking about the factors that contribute to alimony. We're up to factor 5 already. We're moving right along. Okay, so what we're looking at in factor 5 is the earning capacities, educational levels, and vocational skills of each party. So, for example, if one spouse has their doctorate and they're practicing medicine and the other spouse never graduated college, you are an excellent candidate for alimony. Chances are your spouse will have to give you some money so you can go to college, so you can get some educational levels, so you can get some vocational skills and increase your employability, so you can join the workforce again. The last factor that we're going to talk about, F, the contribution of each party to the marriage, including but not limited to services rendered in homemaking. Believe it or not, being a stay-at-home wife does have a value. It does very much contribute to the marriage. It contributes to the household and it contributes to the family. Therefore, if you raise 3 kids and you've been a stay-at-home wife for 20 years, the court does want to hear about it. It is relevant. So all you moms that are stay-at-home moms and dads that are staying at home, you do have homemaking skills, and those homemaking skills do have value. Nilda, you want to be a stay-at-home wife?
Oh, I would love to.
Me too.
Find me a rich man.
I would love to be a stay-at-home dad. I don't think anything would be more fun than staying at home raising kids, especially when it has value, right?
Yes.
It does have value. We're also going to look at the education of the other party. For example, if you're married to a lawyer that has a very high educational level and you've graduated high school, guess what? We're talking about alimony. Again, I love alimony. This is interesting stuff. Okay, continuing on with the factors for alimony, we're also going to be looking at the responsibilities each party will have in regard to the minor children. What does this mean? This basically means that if one parent is going to be working 70 hours a week, one parent is going to be staying home with the children every single week, and that person is not going to have the ability to work because they're caring for children, you're going to get some alimony. Now, not every time, but most of the time, I think you're going to get alimony in that situation. You certainly have a great case for alimony We're moving right along with these factors, and if you're just tuning into us today, this is Grant Gisondo, the family man, and we are talking about the different factors and different areas about alimony here. And joining me in the studio today is Nilda. She's one of our paralegals at the law offices of Grant Gisondo. Give her a call. Give me a call, 561-530-4568. We got a few more factors to talk about. We're going to get back to you in just a moment. We'll be right back.
Non-attorney spokesperson.
Without the proper training, diffusing a highly volatile bomb is not something you want to try by yourself. When a marriage is about to explode, the same wisdom applies. Hire a professional or pay the consequence.
Headed for divorce? Diffuse the matter with the guidance of the law offices of Grant Gisondo. Online at sunshinedivorce.com. That's sunshinedivorce.com. Main office in Palm Beach Gardens.
Okay, welcome back. This is Grant Gisondo, the family man. If you're just tuning in, we are talking all about alimony today in a family law case. That would be a dissolution of marriage case, or better known as a divorce case to the common public. Our last factor that we're going to talk about today that the court is going to consider when making a decision whether or not a party to a divorce case is going to receive or pay alimony would be all sources of income available to the party. So for example, if you own a property, that property is rented out, that property is paying you $2,500 a month in rental income, well, that income is going to be considered into your finances to determine whether or not you have to pay a portion of that in alimony. Now, that is going to be in addition to your normal salary if you have a normal job. Or, for example, let's say you have a brokerage account, and that brokerage account is paying interest, and you're actually taking money from that. That interest that's being accumulated is actually considered income. That income, all sources of income, are going to be considered when determining or when doing the analysis of a spouse receiving or paying alimony. Now, we got through the factors about alimony. We spoke about that infidelity or adultery actually is relevant when talking about alimony. I defined for you guys, just as a quick recap, there are 4 types of alimony in Florida. That would be bridge the gap alimony, rehabilitative alimony, durational alimony, and permanent alimony. But, Nilda, I know you're wondering, what do these different types of alimony actually mean, right?
That's right.
Okay, so let's get on with it. Let's answer those questions. The first one, bridge the gap alimony. Nilda, you want to take a shot at this one? Do you have any idea what bridge the gap alimony might mean?
Gap is usually the time between two things, so a bridge would get you over the gap.
I like it. I like that you didn't think that it was a store to buy jeans. I love that. I love where your head's at. You're in the game, and I want you guys to be in the game. You know, I had a professor in law school that whenever I said something that was witty or actually made sense in one of my classes, he would say that my elevator is going to the top floor. And that's where you are today. Your elevator is on the top floor.
All right.
That's where we want to be. So everybody, Nilda was extremely close with her shot at bridge the gap alimony. She's very right. It actually is for a person to be paid for the transition from being married to being single. So for example, if you've never worked and for the first time you got to get a job, you're going to get some alimony while you're looking for a job and until you get a job. Now, bridge the gap alimony is very specific in nature in that it cannot exceed 2 years in length. Anything past 2 years in length would mean it's a different type of alimony. So if you want bridge the gap alimony, understand that it can only be 2 years in length, but it's also very special. It's very special because it's the only type of alimony that is non-modifiable. So once there's been an award for alimony, it can't be changed. Did you know that?
Wow, I didn't.
See, these are the little nuances. This is why, folks, these little nuances in the law is really important why you hire an experienced family law attorney. At my law office, at the law offices of Grant Gisondo, PA in Palm Beach Gardens, we are only family law attorneys. This is all we do. We're not a general practice. These little nuances matter. They matter to me. They matter in your case, and they absolutely matter to judges. So again, bridge the gap alimony, not modifiable in nature, cannot be longer than 2 years, specifically designed for the transition from being married to being single. It's really meant to meet the short-term needs of a person. The next up, rehabilitative alimony, the alimony that requires the most amount of work from attorneys if you're going to request it. Nilda, you want to take a shot at this one? Rehabilitative alimony, what do you think it means?
Something to get you back on your feet.
I love it. That's perfect. That's perfect. Something to get you back on your feet. Now, everybody's going, Why does this require the most amount of work? It requires the most amount of work because under the statute, there has to be a specific and defined rehabilitative plan, which needs to be included in the awarding rehabilitative alimony. So that means that I actually have to sit down at my desk and make a plan of how this money is actually going to be used. So for example, if you want to go back to school, I have to list what school you're going to. I have to list how much that school is going to cost. I have to list what your expected graduation date is going to be. And I also have to list a very, very specific plan of how this money is going to be used to get you to be rehabilitated back into the workforce. Now, rehabilitative alimony is not only for school. It could be for any vocational training. It could be for work experience. It could be for an internship. If I know people that wanted to go get a cosmetology license, so they went ahead and they went to some cosmetology school, or they finished school, but they never had any on-hands training, so it gave them some time to get some on-hands training. It's really a wonderful vehicle to introduce somebody that's been out of the workforce to get them back into the workforce, especially when they don't have that many employment skills or credentials. Once you obtain these things, back in the workforce and you're ready to go. Now, rehabilitative is the first of the four that is modifiable or terminated. When is it modifiable? When is it terminated? Well, it's modifiable in very specific circumstances. Give me a call today. We can talk about when it's modifiable, but it's terminated just like all other alimony. It's terminated the death of the person paying, the person or the person receiving it remarries or enters into a supportive relationship. So that's two of the four types of alimony. And if you're just tuning in with us today, we're talking about the different types of alimony. A little bit earlier in the show, we spoke about the factors that contributed to alimony. So we've got through rehabilitative, we've got through bridge the gap. Now we're going to talk about durational alimony. We're on 3 of 4 already, moving right along. We're here with Nilda. She's one of the paralegals in my law office. Nilda, you want to take a shot? Durational alimony, what do you think?
Durational. This one, you got me stumped.
Okay, durational alimony is tough, but it is for a specific, Nilda?
Time.
Yes.
Duration. Time. Oh my gosh.
Perfect. I love it.
We got it.
Elevators on the top floor. She knows what we're talking about today. Okay, durational alimony is specific to a period of time, only available of a short-term or a moderate duration marriage or a long-term marriage if there's an ongoing need for support on a permanent basis. Yes, it's modifiable. Modifiable when? Remarriage, or if the person paying it dies. Of course, if you die, you don't have to pay your alimony anymore. Why is that even in the statute? It's in the statute because your estate is not going to have to pay it. That's why it's actually there. So durational alimony for a set period of time, usually for a short-term marriage. If you've been married 3 years, you might have to pay some durational alimony for a year. No specific plan needs to be done, no specific purpose. It's just really meant for a short period of time to get you back on your feet, get you working again. We have one more type of alimony to talk about, and that is permanent alimony. We're going to do that in just a minute. We will be right back. Again, this is Grant Gisondo, the family man, the owner of the law offices of Grant Gisondo, a full-service, aggressive family law firm located in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Give us a call today at 561-530-4568. And if you have questions, folks, if you have anything that you'd like to see covered on a show, shoot me an email, grant@sunshinedivorce.com. Again, that's grant@sunshinedivorce.com. We'll be right back.
Non-attorney spokesperson.
Without the proper training, diffusing a highly volatile bomb is not something you want to try by yourself. When a marriage is about to explode, the same wisdom applies. Hire a professional or pay the consequence.
Headed for divorce? Diffuse the matter with the guidance of the law offices of Grant Gisondo. Online at sunshindedivorce.com. That's sunshindedivorce.com. Main office in Palm Beach Gardens.
Okay, folks, welcome back. This is Grant Gisondo, the owner of the law offices of Grant Gisondo, located in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. If you're just tuning in, today we are talking about alimony. We're talking about all the different types of alimony as well as the factors that we discussed earlier in the show about alimony. Don't worry, I'll do a quick recap at the end of those factors for anyone that might have missed it. We have one more type of alimony to talk about today, and we do have Nilda with us, legal assistant over at Grant Gisondo, PA. Nilda, permanent alimony, what do you think it means?
Permanent.
Permanent.
Period.
What does
Forever.
permanent mean? Forever.
Forever, ladies, guys, forever.
I love it. Forever. This means alimony for the rest of your life. Now, typically, and I'm going to say typically because every single case is different, typically permanent alimony is for a long-term marriage. What is a long-term marriage? Typically a marriage over 17 years. So those of you who have been married 50 years plus and you might be wanting to get a divorce, you definitely be looking at permanent alimony. That is if you make substantially more money than your wife, though. In some cases, that's not always the case. Or you might make more money than your husband, in which case, let me just throw that out there now, folks, so you know. Alimony is available to either party. I've had clients that are ladies that pay their husband alimony. I've had cases where I represent the husband and they're paying their wife alimony. That would be their ex-wife, of course. So don't think that this is a gender-biased statute. It is definitely not. Either party can get it. Any party can receive it. So back to permanent alimony. Again, typically for a long-term marriage, but not always. Sometimes for a moderate duration or a short-term marriage, permanent alimony. Now, for a short-term marriage, only when exceptional circumstances exist. What is an exceptional circumstance? Well, your circumstance might be exceptional. My circumstance might be exceptional. We don't really know, but we do know when we talk about permanent alimony, we're thinking about someone that is not going to be working again. They have no ability to meet the needs and necessities of life that were established during a marriage. They really can't work. We're looking at people with disabilities. For example, if you were married for 40 years and your husband and wife went blind and they can't work, they can't drive, chances are you're going to be paying them some alimony for the rest of their life. Now, permanent alimony, is it modifiable? Yes, of course it's modifiable. Always modifiable if, let's say, you're making less money. Let's say your circumstances changed. Always modifiable. If you die, obviously your estate's not going to be paying this alimony. Or if your spouse remarries, enters into a supportive relationship, alimony could be reduced. Now, something that we do at my law offices, we do modifications of alimony. They can be done by a separate petition. It's always available, though. But if you feel like you're paying too much, if you feel like you're making less money, if you feel that your former spouse is now in a supportive relationship or they've remarried and you're still writing those alimony checks every month, give us a call. Ask for me, ask for Nilda. We'll set you up with a free in-person consultation. Again, folks, it's free. It's free to sit down and talk with me. My number is 561-530-4568. Of course, if you have any questions about alimony, today's show, another show, or there's something you'd like to have covered, shoot me an email, grant@sunshinedivorce.com. Again, that's grant@sunshinedivorce.com. Now, back to alimony here. I've said it a couple times, but I want to make sure you know it. It ends. When does it end? When is it finally going to be over? It's going to be over when you die, when your former spouse dies, or when either of you, or when your spouse gets remarried. Now, let's say, for example, I'm sitting here and I'm having to pay alimony and I get remarried. Does that mean my obligation to pay my former spouse alimony goes away? No. That is not what it means. The spouse receiving the alimony is the one that would need to get remarried. Since we spoke a little bit about modifications of alimony, what is the standard that needs to be met if you're going to modify your alimony? Well, there needs to be a substantial material change in circumstances. What is a substantial material change in circumstances? It could be you're making substantially less money. You had a job that you were making $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year, and now you're making $50,000 a year. It happens every day. Let's say that you owned your own business and you were making $3 million a year, but you had to close your business. You can no longer afford those $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month alimony payments to your spouse. You're now only making $5,000 or $6,000 a month. You are absolutely ripe for a modification of alimony. So if you feel like you're paying too much, if you would like a free review over the alimony or your final judgment, give me a call anytime, 561-530-4568. We have one more thing that we need to talk about here, and that is defining the length of the marriage. When we went through those factors, remember, factor number 2 was the duration of the marriage. I said I would come back to it. Here I am coming back to it. But real quick, if you're just tuning in, this is Grant Gisondo, the family man. I'm the owner of the law offices of Grant Gisondo. We are a full-service family law firm located in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. You can call me anytime for a free in-person consultation, 561-530-4568, or online at sunshinedivorce.com, because nobody can spell gisondolaw.com. We'll fight for you every single step of the way, so give us a call, 561-530-4568, talking about alimony. And here we go. This is my favorite part of the statute, absolutely, which is the duration of the marriage. This is one part of the statute that is incredibly clear whether you have a short-term marriage, a moderate duration marriage, or a long-term marriage. So, a short-term marriage, what is it defined as? It's a marriage that lasts from 0 years to 7 years. So Nilda, who's with me today, she's one of the paralegals over there at my law firm. If you've been married for 4 years, how is the court going to classify the length of your marriage?
Short term.
That is a short-term marriage. Now, what if you've been married 8 years?
That's a moderate because it's only to 7 years, right?
Absolutely. So if you've been married between 7 and 17 years, the court considers that a moderate duration marriage. And over 17 years, Nilda, you want to take a crack?
Long term.
That would be a long-term marriage. Why do we love long-term marriages? Because we get to talk about all the different types of alimony, and especially permanent alimony. So that's how the court does it, folks. That's the way we look at your marriages. Now, everyone says, I've been married 7 years and 1 day. What does that mean? What do I have? Do I have a short-term or a moderate duration marriage if it's 7 years and 1 day? What do you think?
It would be years, not days, right?
Well,
Because
it's a very common misconception. So if you've been married 7 years and 1 day, believe it or not, you have a moderate duration marriage.
Oh, wow.
It's from 0 to 7 years. As soon as you get through midnight on your 7th year anniversary, you're no longer a short-term marriage.
Wow.
Same thing with long-term marriage. Anything over 17 years, 1 day, 17 years, 1 minute. When that case is filed, you have a long-term marriage. I love long-term marriages. They're one of the things that we love to talk about over there. We have one more segment to talk about here about alimony, why I love alimony, and that is tax consequences. Nobody wants to talk about taxes. I don't want to talk about taxes, but we're going to cover this in 1 minute. If you're just tuning in, this is Grant Gisondo, the family man, owner of the law offices of Grant Gisondo, located in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Today we're still talking about alimony, the different factors that contribute to alimony. We're defining some terms that are common misconceptions for the public, for you. Of course, if you have any questions about alimony or any family law case, give me a call, 561-530-4568. So let's talk real quick about taxes. Did you know, now Nilda, did you know this, that if I'm paying alimony, it's actually a tax write-off?
Really?
It is.
How is that?
Because if I'm paying you alimony, it's actually less income that I get to bring home, so I get to write it off in my taxes.
Wow.
But if someone is receiving alimony, what do you think is going to happen then?
You would have to claim it, right? Because that's income.
You do.
Oh.
You have to claim it as income. So everybody wants to get alimony until they realize that it's going to up their income tax bracket. They're going to actually have to claim that as income, and you do have to pay taxes on it.
Wow.
Now, let's say, for example, you make $100,000 a year. Let's say you're getting $50,000 a year in taxes. You've just increased your tax bracket almost 2 segments. That's a huge, huge difference of what you're actually bringing home. So if you're receiving alimony, I certainly hope that you're putting a little away for Mr. Taxman. The only thing you can count on this world is death, taxes, and aggressive representation from me. 561-530-4568 is how you reach me. Of course, you can always shoot me an email at grant@sunshinedivorce.com. We'll be back in just a moment, folks. We're going to talk about a couple of questions that we had from last week's show. Be right back.
Non-attorney spokesperson.
Without the proper training, diffusing a highly volatile bomb is not something you want to try by yourself. When a marriage is about to explode, the same wisdom applies. Hire a professional or pay the consequence.
Headed for divorce? Diffuse the matter with the guidance of the law offices of Grant Gisondo. Online at sunshindivors.com. That's sunshindivors.com. Main office in Palm Beach Gardens.
All right, folks, welcome back. This is Grant Gisondo, the family man, the owner of the law offices of Grant Gisondo, a full-service family law firm located in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Call us today for a free in-person consultation regarding any family law case, 561-530-4568, or shoot me an email at grant@sunshinedivorce.com. Don't worry, you don't have to use your real name. You can make up a total name. You can email me as Mickey Mouse if you would like. Grant@sunshinedivorce.com. Drop me a line. Let me know what you'd like to hear. Let me know what you like about the show. Let me know what you don't like about the show. I have thick skin. Lay it on me. Let's hear it. So now we're going to go through a really fun portion of the show where we're actually going to read some of the questions that got emailed to us. Don't worry, we're not going to give out any personal information, but I think Nilda, one of the paralegals that works with me, who's with us today talking about alimony, is going to read our first question. So what do you got?
All right. We have a question here from Robert in Boca Raton. He says, a friend told me that if I speak with a divorce attorney, my wife will not be able to get a consultation with the same lawyer. Is that true?
Good question. Robert, yes, it is true. I can tell you what's true for me at my office. If I met with the husband, I will not meet with the wife. If I met with the wife, I will not meet with the husband. There's certain things called conflicts, whereas if a client told you something about their case that they wouldn't necessarily want the other person to know, the lawyer has to keep that in strict confidence. It's a strict secret. So for me, yes, it would conflict me off the case. No, I wouldn't meet with your wife. But Robert, give me a call if you feel like an attorney is representing your wife that you met with or that has some secrets about you that they wouldn't have known, but for your consultation with them, you could definitely conflict them off. But give me a call today. I'd be happy to talk to you about that, Robert. Good question. What do you got
Grant,
next?
are your consultations free? We have a couple of questions about your consultations.
Yes, my consultations are 100% free. There is no obligation whatsoever. Nobody's going to ask you for any money whatsoever. Come on in, talk to me, ask all of your questions. Now, you got to understand that these consultations that I do, I like to equate them to kind of like a first date. We're getting to know each other. We're seeing if we like one another. We're seeing if we could work together. I want to make sure that you're comfortable with me. I want to make sure that you're feeling positive about my ability to represent you. I also want to make sure that I like you. I want to make sure that you're going to be a good client, that you're a good client for us, and then I can actually help you. I like to sit down. I like to basically name the most important factors of your case for you. I want to know what your objectives are. I want to know what's important to you and how I can meet those goals for you. I definitely don't want you to have a bad experience. And again, my levels of representation are slightly different. I want my clients to come in. I want to meet with them. I want them to be comfortable with me. And then I want to get started. I want to get this case from point A to point B. I am very much a gentleman. I want to be a gentleman for everyone. But don't get me wrong. If I have to get aggressive, if I have to be a little bit stronger, it's no problem. I'm very comfortable doing that. I'm pretty much in the courtroom, I would say 3 to 4 days a week, which I consider to be a lot. So we're comfortable in the courtroom. We're comfortable in mediation. But most important, yes, it's absolutely free. Come on in, see me. Let's have a conversation.
All right. Okay, so we have Gail from Palm Beach Gardens, local. She asks, my husband and I are getting a divorce, but I plan on moving out of Florida after it's done. Will that affect anything?
Gail, that's a good question, and I have to say it depends. It depends on whether or not you have kids. Neil, did she mention in there if she has kids or not?
No kids.
Okay, so if there's no kids, you can get a divorce in the state of Florida, and you're free to move wherever you want. You don't even have to stay in the country. It doesn't matter. Now, if you do have kids, you have to file something called a petition for relocation, which means that you have to ask the court's permission in order to relocate with your children. Why? Because it's going to affect your husband's time sharing with those kids. Now, that's a very, very specific topic, relocation. We're going to do a show on relocation, absolutely, because it's a huge area that we practice in family law here. So if you don't have kids, get your divorce, go ahead, move on with your life. Feel free to move out of state. No effect whatsoever. If you do have kids, yes, absolutely going to affect it. It's absolutely going to change things. You should definitely give me a call to talk about that because relocation is a highly specialized area of law. 561-530-4568. Give me a call. Nilda, what you got next?
All right, we have Greg from Stuart, Florida. He says, I am stuck with my wife because of our current finances. What if we can't afford a divorce, but are miserable together?
Greg from Stuart. Okay, Greg, tough question. What do you do being stuck together? Well, if you don't have any kids and you don't have anything in common, move out. Or she can move out. Separate. Go live your separate lives. There's no reason why, if you have nothing holding you together, you should live in misery. My feeling is that everybody should be happy, and everybody should be happy every single day. And if you're not happy, you got to change that. What absolutely should you do, Greg? Greg, you should call me. You should retain my law firm, and we should get you out of this situation. We do offer payment plans for certain individuals. I don't want you to be miserable. I want you to be happy, and I want you to move on with your life. So let's get you out of that situation. If you're unhappy and you don't want to be unhappy, and of course you don't want to be unhappy, give me a call. We'll discuss some creative options to get you out of that situation almost immediately. And Greg, I love Stuart. I love the town of Stuart. It's a great place. By the way, folks, if you haven't been to downtown Stuart recently, and I'd say in the last few years, you really should go because, Nilda, have you been there?
No.
You really should go. Their downtown area is great. The restaurants, there's some bars, it's waterfront. It's beautiful. So I think
They have a nightlife for the new single people out there after you get them divorced?
Absolutely. Get divorced, go to downtown Stuart, and make some bad decisions.
Note to self.
Perfect. We got more questions, though, I think, right?
Yes. We actually have a good one. Sandra from Lake Worth. Do different states handle child custody differently?
Sandra from Lake Worth, hello. Yes, every state does handle child custody slightly different, but one thing that most states have in common is that they do want both parents involved in the child's life. So those days where you say, oh, my wife took the kids and I never get to see the kids, those are gone, those are over, goodbye, and good riddance. The court wants both parents involved in the child's life on a very, very frequent basis. What is a frequent basis? It means that mother and father are going to be involved in things like school functions. They're both going to be involved in things like homework as well as extracurricular activities as well as weekends. Weekends are considered fun time. Weekdays are considered work time. Both parents have to be able to do some homework with the children. They also have to be able to do those Saturday fun things like the park, the zoo, ice cream, the carousel rides, all those fun things. But both parents also need to be doing some homework and stuff as well. So I can really only tell you about what Florida does because that's where I practice, although I am also licensed to practice in Washington, D.C. Primarily, I'm down here in South Florida. So if you're in Florida, Sandra, give me a call. Let's talk about it. 561-530-4568. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is Grant Gisondo, the family man, the owner of the law offices of Grant Gisondo, and we are a full-service law firm located in Palm Beach Gardens today. You can give us a call anytime for a 100% free in-person consultation, 561-530-4568, or you can check us out online at sunshinedivorce.com. Feel free to email me directly if you have any questions. That's grant@sunshinedivorce.com. We're talking today a little bit about alimony, but we're at the segment of the show where you viewers get to write in and ask me questions. Now remember, I'm not giving everybody legal advice here. This is just basically me telling you my opinion. So we got a couple more questions. Nilda, who works in my law firm, she's the one that answers the phone quite often when I'm tied up. She's going to read in some questions for some viewers. Nilda, you got some more questions there?
I'm actually a little bit curious about you, Grant. The way you talk about this stuff, it just comes so naturally. So what I want to know is, what did you actually do before you decided to become an attorney and go to law school?
I was always an attorney. I was born an attorney. No, really, I was.
5 years old?
Yes. 5 years old. I was wearing a suit, a tie. I had a briefcase. I had a mohawk, and I was practicing law.
We need pictures.
Okay.
Need pictures.
We're not doing pictures. It's a good question. I want to thank you, whoever asked this question, for actually taking an interest in who I am as a person, because believe it or not, before I was a lawyer, I was a person. No, I'm kidding. But before law school, what did I do? Well, I was a paralegal. I was a family law paralegal. Before I was a paralegal, I was a legal assistant at a family law firm. And before I was a legal assistant, I actually answered the phone at a law firm. I made about $8 an hour, and I sat there for about 45 hours a week and just answered the phone. And that's kind of what got me started. I don't even know what I did before then, looking back that far, but it seems like my whole life I've been invested in the family law field. I can tell you things have changed, the statutes have changed, the practice is wonderful right now. Honestly, this is all I know. I've never practiced another area of law. My whole career has been vested in family law. And just so everybody knows what exactly is family law, it's not only divorce, it's not only custody, it's child support, it's time sharing, it's alimony, it's modifications of agreements. Sometimes it involves contempt actions. But family law is basically anything involving domestic relations. I do domestic violence. I prosecute the cases as well as defend the cases should that ever arise in your household and you need some representation for that. So anything family law related we do, and that also includes adoption. So thank you. Although the question was submitted anonymously, thank you whoever asked that question, and I hope I answered it. If you have any other questions, feel free to shoot me an email, grant@sunshinedivorce.com. And if you want to email Nilda, you can do that. It's nilda@sunshinedivorce.com. Why are we using sunshinedivorce.com? Because nobody can spell gisondolaw.com. Nilda, we have more questions?
Just one last question, another anonymous one. They're asking, can child support be waived?
Good question. A lot of people say, I don't even want child support from the other person. I just want them out of my life. Well, guess what? You cannot waive child support. Child support is not waivable. It's not negotiable. In fact, it's a very, very specific calculation that attorneys conduct, or the courts conduct in some instances, to determine the amount of money that's going to be paid from one spouse to another, or mother to father, or father to mother. There is no way moms can pay child support, dads can pay child support. It's a factor. We're going to do a whole show about the calculations of child support. We're going to try to do it with a little bit of fun and games, because math calculations can get a little dull. Which is definitely something we don't want to do. So no, child support is not waivable. It's also not negotiable. Let me tell you that we are looking at your income, both spouses' incomes, some expenses of the child like health care, daycare, things like that, and the amount of overnights. Now, why do I specifically say overnights? That's because nobody cares how many days you spend with your child. We only care about overnights. So, for example, if your child is with you 7 days a week with 0 overnights, then for the purposes of the child support calculations, you have 0 overnights. You want your child support to go through the roof, you want to receive a ton of child support, you get 0 overnights. That really affects your child support. So, nope, not negotiable, not waivable. Someone is going to receive it. It's one of the things that we do every single day at the law offices of Grant Gisondo, PA. If you have questions about child support or calculating child support, give us a call, 561-530-4568, or email me at grant@sunshinedivorce.com. I actually received 2 questions from last week that I'm going to run through here real quick. That question was, I've been married for 6 years. Will I get child support and alimony? Kind of a vague question there. It was submitted anonymously, so I can't speak to anyone directly in this one. But will you get alimony with 6 years? Yes. Actually, from our discussion today, it's possible that you will receive alimony. Is it guaranteed? No. Is anything guaranteed under the law? Nope, absolutely not. Will you get child support? Well, you didn't actually tell me if you have children or not. And one of the prerequisites to receive child support is that you actually have to have a child. So if this was your question, I'd love to have a conversation with you, because I'd like to ask a whole bunch of questions to you before I can answer this. Give me a call, 561-530-4568. The other most common question that I get, and one that was specifically asked this week, is my spouse is threatening to take my kids away from me. She's going to leave. She's telling me I'm never going to see my kids. What do I do? What do? Hire an attorney. 99% of the time, that's going to be my recommendation. You need an attorney that's going to give you aggressive representation for family law cases. That's one of the things that we do. One of the things that we only do is represent family law clients at my firm. Again, Grant Gisondo, I'm the family man, the owner of the law offices of Grant Gisondo, PA. We're located in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. You can give me a call for a free consultation for any family law case, 561-530-4568, or online at sunshinedivorce.com.
Non-attorney spokesperson.
Without the proper training, diffusing a highly volatile bomb is not something you want to try by yourself. When a marriage is about to explode, the same wisdom applies. Hire a professional, or pay the consequence.
Headed for divorce? Diffuse the matter with the guidance of the law offices of Grant Gisondo. Online at sunshinedivorce.com. That's sunshinedivorce.com. Main office in Palm Beach Gardens.